Greetings from Podcastville. The Church of What's Happening Now is brought to you by Manscaped. Listen, there's a public service announcement for you nutsack. April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. Every hour, someone in this country is diagnosed with testicular fucking cancer. Never mind the fucking coronavirus. It's early detected as your best friend. It comes to protecting your nuggets, all right? This month, Manscaped and the Testicular Cancer Society want to remind you to check your fucking coin sack at least once a month. You're sitting at home playing with it anyway like a fucking idiot watching TV. You might as well squeeze it here, squeeze it there. What you need to do is download the Ball Checker app today for tips on protecting your fucking nutsack. All right? Search for Ball Checker wherever you download apps. That's for starters. Now, to talk to you about Manscaped, you gotta, after you realize you don't have testicular cancer, it's time to sling some dick, okay? So what are you gonna do? You can't sling Corona dick right now. And you're sitting there, your face looks like the Wolfman. We're all aging by the fucking day. So what do you think your dick looks like? It looks like a fucking fossil. So before you even go on the Ball Checker app, before you try slinging dick, go on to manscaped.com and get the Lawnmower 3.0 with the goodies. Get the complete fucking package. Why are you wasting your time? Go to manscaped.com right now, press in Joey, and get 20% off and free shipping. And check your balls. It might save your fucking life. Lee, kick this motherfucking mule on a Thursday.
Oh, shit.
Ready to stab a motherfucker.
No more fucking excuses. This is the year of the fucking
soldier
like fucking Marines. You understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.
Here you go. Are you fucking kidding me or what? It's Thursday. It's the same old song and dance, cocksuckers. You ain't going nowhere. But we're going to be fucking fine. We're going to get through this motherfucker. It's Uncle Joey on a Thursday morning trying to bring you some love, some laughter, some giggles. We got a few things to talk about. I'll get out of your fucking hair. And then you go on with your life, whatever the fuck you were doing. Last week I got a call from a friend of mine. By the way, listen, we're going to be working these back and forth. This Zoom shit, it don't work for me. I don't like people's little heads looking at me and shit like that. I feel like a fucking pedophile looking in on somebody and they're looking back at me. Then you put me face to face. I'm like the Brady Bunch. I don't like it. For me, a podcast has always been something more personal. If you've been with the podcast since day one, we've switched formats 18 times. We went from just us to introduce ourselves to phone calls and interviewing guests to bringing the guests back in studio. And then we go a cappella from time to time. Now we're going to run it with this fucking Zoom. The other thing about Zoom is I Zoomed once. Now every fucking idiot's reaching out to me to Zoom. I don't want to Zoom with nobody. You understand me? You want to Zoom on your own fucking time. I don't want to Zoom with nobody. I want to Zoom with fucking the guest I have, and that's it. I barely want to do that. And you know I love Dean Del Rey, and I had other guests. Now I got to call people, see if they got fucking Zoom for a month. I'd rather fucking choke myself. But anyway, you know, it is what it is. Technology, everything's changing. I'm still not hip with Zoom. So it's going to take me a few weeks. So we're going to go back and forth until I get adjusted to the two heads sitting next to each other. I got to look at my face and Dean Del Rey. Two fucking old men like we're about to get shot. I don't need that aggravation in my life. But it's funny. You know, 10 days ago I was on the phone with Ari. And we were just talking about, you know, everything that's going on. And he goes, you know what the good thing is going to be about this? That people are going to forget about the petty things of life. You know? What really fucking matters? Bro, first of all, if you don't think there's going to be a silver lining out of this, you're out of your fucking bird. If you're sitting there with no money for the rent and you're thinking about what you got to do, there's nothing you could do. Nobody knows nothing. Unless you got a fucking a ball in front of you, you don't know nothing. So, but here's one thing I do know about this, that there's going to be a silver lining from this. Either you're going to change careers, either something better is going to happen for you. You're just taking a lump right now. Trust me when I'm telling you, man. I've been in these positions 1,000 times. This is the most dangerous one. You know, this attacks people like me. But I'm still telling you, we got a chance. You young guys got a chance. You're not doomed. I don't want anybody to think they're doomed, that they're done. You're not over. It ain't over till the fat lady sings, and she ain't even getting the fucking car yet. We're fucking Americans. So before you doom yourself, don't doom yourself, all right? You're just going through a fucking rough patch. This is what this is called in life. For you young guys, your job, you're not graduating. Hey, I feel for you. I'd rather you live than you get together with a bunch of other 800 idiots with hats on and throw them up in the air. What's that going to do for your post time? Nothing. Move on. I never fucking walked down the aisle. Joey Diaz, come get your diploma. Didn't do dick for you. At the end of the day, don't do dick for nobody. I feel for you. I feel for you, and I know your pain. And for you guys who just started a job, I feel for you. You know, but everything happens for a reason. Anyway, I'm talking to Ari, and we're bullshitting about how hopefully this will make people go back to seeing what's important in your life. Like, what do I give a fuck if Lee grabs some chick's tit in 1981? Enough. Knock it off. Go get your fucking life together, all right? You call the cops? No, shut the fuck up. So me and him just had this weird conversation. Excuse me, Corona's all over the place. You watch on the news, you know, on TV, you go online. I can't even look at the fucking things anymore. I just look at my messages because it's just too much Corona, and you just get depressed. I feel a lot better lately because the TV isn't even going on until 6 now. Now we got it till 6, not even 5. Like, it's just getting later and later. Because my wife don't want to hear it either. Nobody wants to hear it no more. It is what it is. There's nothing we could do, and we have to move on. But I'm talking to Ari, and we're talking about pity shit. And I don't know what's going on, guys. I really don't. I'm trying to homeschool a child. Have you ever tried to homeschool a child?
No.
No, and especially when you're a moron. Have you ever tried to homeschool a child when you're a moron? Well, welcome to my world. I'm learning every day. I'm learning little by little, you know, and she's teaching me things. I'm teaching her things. Yesterday, we went back there. We ended up doing math. We got caught on percentages. I started talking about 10% of my action, 20% of my action. How much do you get?
Have you talked about the small 50 yet?
I talked about the small 50. I'm working it with math, but I'm trying to give her a different perspective. I use dice.
Yeah.
I give her an amount of money to count it. I tell her, count $23. Let me know how much is there. I made a mistake. I'm going to see if she tries to thieve $1 from me. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell her there's 23. She counts 24. Does she take $1? I'm teaching her all this stuff because this is the way I learned it.
Yeah.
It's great to learn. You know, she's learning division. I'm working with her a lot on math. I'm good with numbers and thinking real quick. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm busy, guys. This has been a real life changer, this homeschool. And if you're a parent, my heart goes out to you. I know what you're going through. So I don't really know what's going on in the world. I know Bert's got a thing on. I know the comedians got together. I've spoken to Eddie a few times. I've spoken to Joe maybe once. I've spoken to Theo. I talk to Simone every day, Dean every day. But I don't really know what's going on, like specials and shit like that. So I got a call from a friend of mine in Texas who's an old comedy club friend, my old coke dealer. At one of the comedy clubs, he was the manager, but he also supplied all the comics with coke. Good guy, you know. I still keep in touch with him. I don't do coke, but I still keep in touch with him. And he called me to ask me if I had seen the new Louis C.K. special, that it was very funny. And I'm like, Louis C.K. has a special. So right away, I don't know, that night I went on Netflix, and I didn't see no Louis C.K. And I'm like, what am I fucking thinking? He got thrown off of Netflix, you know, and then my life turned into whatever, and I forgot all about Louis C.K. And then 2 days later, I go on Twitter, and there's this big write-up by Time Magazine or New York Times. It's either one of those two that Louis C.K. released a special amid this, so I click it, and I'm reading it. I want to see what the fuck, you know? Because in my mind, I'm thinking something completely different right now. So I'm looking at this review, and it's racist, and it's dark, and he explains what he did, and blah, 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 blah. And I finished the review, and sure, the guy who wrote the review didn't like it, and he was pissed off that Louis released it. You know, kind of, sort of.
You gotta expect that.
This is what I was getting. But me, I'm looking at it from a different perspective. You know, I'm looking at it now from like, this happened in 2001. It got brought to light after he blew up. I don't know that I heard about cover-ups and shit like that. Listen, guys, not for nothing. I heard about something happening in Aspen. in 2001. Whether it was 2001, I heard something happen in Aspen with Louis. I didn't know what. Now, have you guys ever lived the life of a comedian? Have you lived the life of a fucking rocker? Have you lived the life of a person in the public eye? It's got its perks and it's got its negatives, okay? One of the perks is, for some reason, women lose their fucking mind over certain things. When the movie Motley Crue came out, The Crew, whatever, on Netflix, it opens up with him eating a girl's pussy that was a squirter at a party, and it was, that was Motley Crue. They came over to fuck,
Right.
And Rudy Sarzo said to me, I go, what did you think of the movie? And he goes, I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. He goes, it's just really hard to understand all the Me Too. How come people aren't freaking out more about Me Too? Because that was a different time. That was the 80s. It was a different fucking time. I'm not saying it was okay to rape women or put sleeping pills. I don't know anything about that. But what went on the road was just, it was mayhem. I've sat here with you many a night. One night, especially up the top of the corner here, when I was still living up the corner and we talked, I was shaking. I'm telling you of all the fucking crazy encounters you have as a young comic on the road and how crazy they really are, And you can look at it from two ways. You look at it from any way you want. I mean, it's a weird way of living, and now we're seeing it through the years with Harvey and fucking Cosby. Now people's eyes are getting a little bit more woken to what happens out here. And, so you get mad at a guy like Cosby and Harvey. But there's another side to the story, and that's the side of meeting a celebrity or sleeping with a celebrity or getting help from that celebrity, okay? And let me tell you something. I always knew, for some reason, I got an early idea early on that nobody could help you in this business. I got it figured out that the people I liked all stood on that stage alone, and that really nobody could help you. I mean, it's the craziest thing that you think that somebody could shine light on you. Yes, somebody could say, Diana Ross could walk into a room and say, I like the Jackson 5. But the Jackson 5 still have to do their work. Do you know what I'm saying? And once you realize that, but for some reason, a lot of women come out here, they're a little on the hot side, they know it. Oh, there you go, a little garlic fart for Lee. I told him one was coming.
Always you spray that shit all the time. Right now.
You gotta wait for this. This will kill Corona, Corona's cousin, and every fucking body.
I think that's where Corona got started. Forget the bad in Wuhan.
This will kill everybody in Wuhan.
Oh,
so
God damn it!
You
spray that stuff. You spray that stuff eight times an hour.
No, I don't want to spray it now. You need this garlic in your lungs. It's good for you. It'll unclog one of your fucking little fucking heart valves. That's why I eat it, to clean out my valves. But anyway, getting back to what we're talking about.
No wonder all these women slept with you.
No, this nobody slept with me, but I'm just saying that there's this weird thing that a hot woman comes to town. You got to see it, first of all. You have to see when new meat walks into an open mic. That's what it is. It's new meat. She goes on stage, she bombs, and every comic all of a sudden thinks she's great. The girl is a 6. And God forbid the girl go up there and say she's single. Fucking, you ever see the sharks, how the fins come out of the water? That's exactly what happened when a girl shows up to an open mic with a pretty dress and she's like, I've never done this before. I need help. I need pointers. Every barracuda comes out until they realize she's not going to suck their dick, or she's going to suck their dick, or they have a boyfriend. It really changes for them. So that's what, and you've seen it. You've seen it. Once you see it, you go, oh, that's why everybody. You're a guy. You go up there, have a great set. Nobody even wants to talk to you. All of a sudden, some chubby girl comes in with big tits and she's got no bra on. Oh my God! All the comic scholars come out.
It happens a little bit, not as much, but I've seen hot guys get a different reaction from people too. It's not as crazy,
but nobody wants a guy doesn't want to fuck a hot guy, and three girls aren't going to circle a young comic to fucking give him advice like three guys will circle a young female comic to give her advice. It's big differences. So when a girl comes into a comedy club, she's new fucking meat. And that's a sad way to put it, but it's fucking true. So now this girl has to struggle, but before she can become a comic, she has to struggle her way through what the fuck is real and what the fuck is not real, which is tough right off the bat. You got to decide what's real and what's not fucking real here. So it's tough enough for a female comic. I'm not saying a female comic is wrong, but nobody was right and nobody was wrong. So my take on this is that they're all partying, and Louis asked the girls to their room. He's the hottest comic up there at the time, or one of the hot comics up there at the time. I don't mean looks. I mean he's fucking destroying.
Right.
They go back to his room. Is this what happened?
I thought it was the green room, but it could be possible. It's either
whatever.
one.
And he asked them.
Yeah.
He asked them.
Absolutely.
And they giggled, and he took his dick out, and he jerked off. Did he come?
I don't know, but I've heard stories that some people said yes, and some people said no. And if they said no, he wouldn't do it. That's what I heard.
And then now, other women came out and said he jerked off in front of them, or that he was jerking off while he was on the phone with them.
Both. Sarah Silverman said that he would ask her occasionally. She said sometimes she would say yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird. But.
So it's a very weird look. But come 2016, 15 years later, they finally get enough momentum to knock the kid off the pedestal. Okay, whatever pedestal you want to call that. Stand up is fame. He loses money. I hear one of his daughters isn't talking to him.
Wow. He had a movie that was going to come out too at that.
Yeah, something else happened. Never mind the monetary losses. Just what he lost in character, what he lost in shame. Here's a guy that's a perfect candidate for you to call up, and when somebody calls you and says, "Did you hear about Louis? What, he hung himself?" Yeah. He was the perfect candidate.
Yeah.
He was the perfect candidate. I even hear in his routine he talks about, which I'm going to watch the special. I hear he talks about going to restaurants and people flipping him off and shit. What he did was not tough. Now we have a moral dilemma here. What does it take for us to forgive Louis? In my world, I have daughters. It's done with. It's done with. And I'm going to tell you why it's done with. Because he went away like a man. He hid like a man. I think he seeks some type of therapy. I heard something from, I don't know how true it is, because I always ask, when I speak to certain New York comics, I ask about Artie. I ask about, just to see how the fuck are they doing.
Now, let me ask you your opinion on this. You just mentioned forgive him. Do you have to forgive him? Could you just enjoy his special and see that he is a fucked up guy, but I enjoy his stand-up? Like, do you have to fully forgive him to be able to watch the special?
That's a great question. Between me and you and the third fucking wall, I have no power to forgive him. Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck am I?
It didn't happen to you.
So you're right. Who the fuck am I to forgive him or not forgive him? I'm just telling you how I feel about it. In my world, it was 15 years ago. He did not go up and make negative tweets. OJ saying that whatever killed Joe Exotic. I don't fucking know. He hasn't made derogatory tweets. He hasn't rubbed it in anybody's face. He's just a guy that sat home, felt he took his lumps, which is what an American person does is we go home, we take our lumps, we figure out what went wrong, and we either shoot ourselves or move forward. So I have to applaud Louis for moving forward. Again, he didn't bother anybody. There were signs up at clubs. If you want your money back, you can have your money back. And then what did he do? Did he come to the Comedy Store and try to bother people? Did he come to the main room of the Denver Comedy Works? No, he went to different little rooms. little rooms where it doesn't matter to those people what happens in Hollywood. You follow me? They know Hollywood is a fucked up place. You know, they don't give a fuck when Brad Pitt says to vote. They don't give a fuck. Hollywood does not influence them at all. He went to all those rooms and did a bunch of those rooms from what I heard and sold out. Then he went up to Canada and he did whatever the chain is up there. And I heard that guy got a bunch of grief. And he sold out all the shows. And I heard it was 40% women and they were up on their feet and clapping too. So what was the purpose of this fucking article that Time wrote? And maybe it was the New York Times. I know New York Times wrote one. I don't know if it was Time or the Post, or I don't believe nothing the fucking Post says anyway. I stopped unfollowing those fucking liars a long time ago. They're just fucking liars. You read the New York Post, they even make up their own bookmaking lines. You go to Vegas, they're giving 7. You go to the Post, they give them 5. What the fuck did I just miss? Because they make their own fucking lines, the Post. They think they're fucking cute. So, you know, I read this fucking thing, and I'm like, what is the point of this? I tell you what Louis did that I liked him the most out of this. He didn't advertise it. He didn't hire a publicist. He didn't bother nobody to go on his show. He released it off his own webpage.
Yeah.
And this is the smartest trick out of everything. And it's not a trick. It's marketing. What was his other CDs priced for?
$5.
Why did he charge $2.99 more if he's irrelevant? Because he knows that for $5, anybody will buy it. But for $7.99, you really got to like him.
Yeah.
And he didn't want nobody watching him that didn't want to watch it. He made it comparable to a Netflix. He made it comparable to a Hulu. I don't know what Hulu is a month, or Netflix.
But he, if you remember, he was the one who started that $5
That
per special
$5
thing.
first
Like,
thing.
he started it.
So why didn't he go back to $5? He went to $7.99 because he wanted for you to really think about if you really wanted to watch this.
Right.
You really have an option to turn this off and not watch it at all, move on with your fucking life, and never to mention Louis C.K.'s.
And like the other side, like with the thing that you mentioned at the beginning, how like something good will come out of it, like some like you'll either get a new job or this and that. It kind of relates to his story, and I don't know. He made a ton of money, so we might have savings.
He has savings.
Imagine not working for 3 years.
He's a great comic. And when I was an open micer, he was already banging out comedy, writing fucking scripts.
But he couldn't work for 3
jerking off all over people. You know, yeah, he didn't work for 3 years.
That's crazy. And not even like with this, with Corona, yeah, you kind of can't work, but there's still jobs out there. Imagine getting.
He stayed in. He paid
picketed.
his dues. He didn't go out and call the chicks cunts on social media. He did nothing of that.
No.
I have to tell you the truth. He acted like a gentleman. And he acted like somebody that deserves a second chance. It's time that, you know what I'm saying? We got people dying by the minute here. We got, the world's coming to an end if you listen to Eddie Bravo and Q5 and fucking Q syndrome. And, there's a lot of shit going on. So for you to fucking take the time out of your busy day to write an article about Louis, and at the end of the day, this is what pisses me off the most. You ready? By you writing that article, you're making the guy a millionaire.
Yeah.
So what you intended to do, I love it. Listen, I come from the day of Brian Bosworth, when he would go into a stadium and there'd be people lined up hating on Brian Bosworth, and a bunch of people with masks that said, I hate Brian, or whatever the fuck they were. But what nobody knew was he owned the company. I loved it when I was growing up, and you guys boycotted Dice, and you broke his albums, and you did all that stuff. What happened? He got even bigger. He played the Garden. And you fucking 12 little lonely chicks were out there with your bald heads. He hates abortion. You're selling more tickets, because you're making people stop to see what the fuck is going on. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in your life. You got something to say. Shut the fuck up. And you hurt the guy financially. But for you to write an article in the New York Times, to put the guy down because he released a special that's going to make him $1 million. You just enabled him.
That's true, but I was wondering about this like the past week. Like even he hasn't made money, but it must hurt him to see that when that stuff comes out. Like,
sure it hurts him. He's a human being.
Do you ever regret, like, I know you love stand up, but do you ever regret like getting into like the public eye, like all that? Like people can write whatever they want, say whatever they want. It's like at some point it must drag on you.
I got into the public's eye at a micro level, and I knew what I felt like, and I knew what my mind did to me at a micro level. Because remember, somebody saying something about you and somebody writing something about you is two different things. How your mind sees it is two different things. Somebody saying something about you and somebody writing it down and you reading it really fucks with your psyche.
Wow.
He read tons and tons and tons of articles about himself. At one point, he stopped because he knew it wasn't getting any better. Mm-hmm. And he looked at the brighter side of what was going on. Now, to answer your question about the public eye, when I got into stand-up comedy, I could truly look you in the eye and anybody else in the eye and say, I got into comedy to drop out. I wanted to drop out, not drop in. I realized what this problem was around 3 weeks ago when this started, because you're alone and you're isolated, and it lets you think and it lets you write different things. When I did the Netflix special, that bothered me. The bombing didn't bother me as much as the fucking location where I did it. You know, Netflix didn't bother me. They were great. Netflix had nothing to do with this. You want me to tell you what bothered me? That everything I had worked for to drop out, I was going against. I was dropping in. When I became a standout, it was to drop out. To drop out of society. To live like Tom Berenger's character in Major League. 1 week you're in Mexico sleeping with chickens, with 2 chicks on the bed with you. And the next week you're in Montana. You may not be making a lot of money. You're making the season minimum, the player minimum, but you're doing what you love. And I'm not in prison.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of this shit for me to get into stand-up. It wasn't to end up in L.A. under the public eye, shaking hands with people. That took a lot. And that'll get us on to our next subject, which is a very good question, you know. When I was growing up, nobody really knew what anxiety was. Everybody put a different name on it or whatever. Everybody put a different name on it. I used to get asthma as a kid. As a kid, I had really bad asthma. And I see it yesterday when I was playing with Mercy. She's got asthma. You know, I could tell because her cheeks get red. And then her mom has to hit her with a fucking squirt of that shit. So even though yesterday she threw those fucking 9-pound balls 100 times, she got a little bit of it. I don't let her pay mind to it, so it goes away like my mother did me. But for years, I had asthma growing up, and I would have to stop, and my mother would have to hug me and hit me with a shot or something, and fucking, then I could breathe again. Over the years, my mom didn't cater to it anymore, and eventually it went away. But that breathing problem, that respiratory thing, always stayed with me, and it always stayed deep in my psyche. So even when I played basketball all those years, there was times I was playing basketball and I would lose focus on what I was doing. And it's like Dr. Belize said when we had her here, that we have natural breathing until we're teenagers, and then we have a traumatic experience and we go away from it. That happened to me. And somewhere along that line, a thing was created inside of me that was called anxiety, a fear. Now, since I was a kid and I was an immigrant, I always felt insecure. But for a long time, after my father died, I had fear. Fear is natural. Your father dies, now I'm scared that my mother's going to die, who's going to take care of me, blah, blah, blah. So this is something that's ingrained in you.
as a young man or whatever the fuck it is, you know. And then as I got older, I started smoking pot and doing drugs. And I self-medicated, you know, with the drugs. And that took care of a lot of it. And then when I became a full-blown junkie on the cocaine, and I realized that I needed a bump, you know, for a long time, I just did a bump like anybody else. You got one, let's do one. But then it became a point where I needed one.
How many years in was that, do you think?
6.
Wow.
6 or 7, where you get to the point where you become like a mouse. You'll pick cocaine over sex, food, sleep. You'll pick cocaine over anything. That's what an addict is called, you know. And I did that for a long time. And, you know, I still got my little things and shit like that. And then I started getting sleep apnea when I got really big. Nobody knew what that was. And I started getting sleep apnea, where you wake up in the middle of the night choking to death. And you have no fucking idea. You wake up like from a nightmare, you know? So all these little things, plus the fact that I do stand-up. Now, from day one of stand-up, I mean, it took me fucking 18 months to get on stage. So what does that tell you? You're scared of something. It's not like some people go that, you know, a lot of people say they went to see a band and they got there early and there was a talent contest and their friends brought them up. I applaud those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I had a friend, Darren Rago, God rest his soul. I took him to an open mic in the city. They were doing a talent contest and he goes, let's wait. Let me go up on stage. I was so fucking proud of him because it took me 18 months like a little fag to make notes. And when are you going to get up on stage? Soon. I'm working on it. You're never working on it.
Soon.
You just fear. But once I broke that fear, I got on stage and here we are 29 years later. But any great performer will tell you, or anybody, the chick that played the violin, a rapper that will tell you that they get jitters before they go on stage.
Yeah.
Some people puke. I remember the first time I saw Gabriel's friend puke. I had heard about it for years.
Like every time he goes on stage?
Every time he goes on stage, he lets out a fucking exorcist barf on the side, wipes his face, takes a sip of beer, and he goes and destroys the fucking place. We all have our fucking shortcomings. That's what the great thing about being a human being is. You know what I'm saying? So I keep going through this, blah, 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 blah. I meet my wife, and I didn't know anything about anything. She takes me to the doctor. We get the sleep apnea corrected, and then she takes me to my main doctor, and her and my main doctor are talking, and they're talking about fucking anxiety and that he's got it, and he gets it at certain times. He doesn't even know it. And then I went home, and she broke it down for me, and she explained to me what anxiety was. And fuck, all these years I've been getting this feeling. You know, I remember before I went to get whenever I go to get a needle, that's what I feel. And just all these different things came into perspective that I didn't know about. And here I was, 35 years old. So the doctor at that point prescribed me pills for my anxiety. He prescribed me high blood pressure medication, 2 pills, once I take in the morning, one I take at night. They also gave me something for my thyroid. They took a blood test. Joe Rogan was the one that told me to check my thyroid. I checked my thyroid, and they gave me medication to speed it up, you know, because I was putting on weight too fast. So it was just a bunch of things that happened. And, you know me, dog, I'm a hard-headed fuck.
You don't say.
I don't want to take no fucking pills, you know. I would go to the blood pressure, and he's like, how come your blood pressure's so high? You taking the medication? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm not taking dick. I'm not taking dick. And then he sat me down one day, and he goes, you got to take your medication when I give it to you. You got to take all of it. So I started taking the blood pressure medication. And then I would get these feelings from time to time. And I would go, what are these fucking feelings? And Terry would look at me and go, are you going through a panic attack? And I would go a little bit. And she would go on the back and come out with a little football, a white football, and give me a white football. And I'd eat the white football, and I'd be fine. And she goes, anytime you get these attacks, eat this white football, you know. So it's not like I get the attacks in the daytime or nothing like that. You know, I'm smoking reefer, I'm eating my edibles. I start getting anxiety at night. Now, am I a liar for telling you this? Yes, I am a liar, but let me explain something to you. My basic anxiety starts at 7:30 because that's when I used to want Coke.
Why are you a liar?
Because I tell you that I get anxiety every night at 7:30. That's not completely the truth. I only get anxiety maybe 4 out of the 7 nights, but I don't know when I'm going to get anxiety.
Right.
And that's why before I go to the comedy store, I always put one of those footballs in my pants. And 9 out of 10 times, I don't take it. Sometimes, if I'm going to the main room and I have to go to the original room and I get anxiety, I pop them. After I had the anxiety attack with Morgan Murphy, that night that was really, really, really bad down there, I decided to start bringing a pill down with me. If I took it before I left the house, I would get dizzy. Remember when I was getting car sick going down the hill?
Oh.
Okay, so I figured out that I had to take the pill when I got to the comedy store. If not, I would fucking throw it away, or I wouldn't. So sometimes when I walk to the main room, I go into the green room and I see all those people. I close the door and I go into the hallway by myself and I go in my pocket and I pop a football. And that's what I've been doing for fucking years, okay? And I do them as I take them. Then I started realizing on the road, if I didn't have an edible, I could take one and fall asleep. On those nights when
Football.
For 3 hours, yeah, one of those football. If I take one of those and the little white blood pressure medication, they relax me. Even sometimes in the leave relaxes me at night. Like after I do 2 shows and I'm wound up. So this is what happened, okay? This is exactly what happened. It wasn't, when the doctor gave me these footballs, he said to me, I could give you something stronger, but I can't because of your sleep apnea. Now, without throwing anybody under the bus, in this town, somebody has already died from sleep apnea and taken Xanax years ago. It's nobody's business who it was. I just know for a fact that's what he died of. That's what he was doing. So because of that, I will take anxiety medication for anxiety, but to sleep, I will take edibles. I will drink the quickies, or I will eat 300 milligrams, or I'll fucking, you know what I'm saying? Weed don't put me to sleep no more.
Right.
Weed used to put me to sleep. Not anymore because of my tolerance.
Yeah.
So, on to top all that shit off, when I go on the road, as you know, and as you've seen, people give me liquid acid. They give me Percocets.
People give you a lot of stuff.
They give me Vicodin. They give me fucking those pills that are really bad for you. I don't know what they are.
Codeine, I don't know.
To be honest with you people, I keep the Percocets. Do I eat Percocets, Lee? No. I keep the Vicodins, whatever those pain pills are.
Oxys.
No. Somebody gave me an Oxy, and I gave that away to somebody right away. I have a friend who eats all that shit, so when people give me strange pills on the road, I'll take them, and then I'll give them to him. But there's some pills I'll keep.
Right.
Like I was telling my wife, Jesus Christ, I'd go for one of those fucking, when they shot my knee before The Sopranos,
Yeah.
the next day it hurt. I could go for a fucking Vicodin. Too bad I don't have one. And then 2 days later, I went in my jacket pocket, and there one was. And then somebody at the comedy store gave me 3 Percocets, which are for pain. And I ate one during the fucking, during this quarantine. I was at home one night bored, and I ate one. I was like, man, these things fuck you up. So I never ate it again. So that's it. But I usually eat my little footballs if I get whatever. Exactly. But again, then I got my boy, one of my boys in Jersey. He knows who it is. He listens to the podcast. He hooks me up from time to time with those bars.
Okay. Xanax.
The Xanax bars. Okay, so I wake up the other morning after the Louis C.K. thing, like 2 days later, and some guy sends me a message. Hey, man, fuck this dude that's talking shit about you.
Bullshit.
So I didn't know who the dude was. I don't know what's going on. So Again, I wake up the next day, I don't hear nothing. Then yesterday I go online and there's this big thing. Joey Diaz is on Xanax. I caught him. I go, this is interesting. Finally, somebody calls me out. You know what I'm saying? I fucking click. But before we get to that, about 6 months ago, I came home and I was writing a bio for this year to have on the road. Mm-hmm. You know how when you write a bio for the road, born in New York,
the venue and ticket
you
stuff,
might have seen him, whatever. So I went on my IMDb page. And on my IMDb page, it says the Jim Norton documentary, Joey Coco Diaz. And I'm like, now, I know I smoke reefer, and I know I got a lot on my plate, but I don't remember doing the Jim Norton documentary for all of me. Let me find the Jim Norton documentary and see what this is all about. And it was like the rise and fall of Jim Norton. And I'm watching this video, and I'm fast-forwarding to it. And they finally came to us. It's him on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Talking. So they used our footage, so they had to put my name on it.
Got it.
So I'm watching this thing, and it's like the rise and fall of about perverts and this and that. And I'm going, whoa. What rise and fall of Jim Norton?
Yeah.
He fucking is on the radio. It's a great show. He's still selling out tickets, and he's still funnier than fucking ever.
Yeah.
He just shot The Degenerates. What rise and fall? And then if you look on that page, it's who stole Patrice O'Neal's money. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see that one.
The Brendan Schaub documentary.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Another comedian that they tortured. And I go, oh, this is a new thing. I go, I wonder when I'm going to get mine. You know what I'm saying? Even as a joke, I go, I wonder, but they torture him for Schaub. Because nobody knows Schaub. He's been doing comedy for 3 years. What do you expect from Schaub? To be fucking Red Fox? You dumb motherfuckers. So yesterday I get up and I click it. And I'm watching this guy. And I'm waiting for some intelligent feedback. For him to say Joey Diaz is a problem, blah, blah, blah. I'm fat. I look like I'm 80. When do I work out? The dumb cunt chick is saying fucking that who would do jujitsu with me. I mean, it was just, and I just stopped it. And then he's like, this is how you know a junkie. He doesn't know the name of what he's taking, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't take Xanax. Lee, what's the name of that gel right there? Up on top so you can read to the people at home. Read everything that's on that label. Read my name, not my address, but...
All right. Social security number.
No.
No, I'm joking. Alprazolam?
Alprazolam. That's why I didn't know the fucking name on it on the Joe... But keep reading.
I can barely read it.
Keep reading. Yeah, Alprazolam or something like that.
Tablets, 0.25 milligrams. I don't know what.
Okay. What did I say on the Joe Rogan podcast?
0.25.
Okay.
And he said it's a generic for Xanax tabs.
Okay.
Take one tablet 3 times a day as needed for anxiety.
Okay.
And it's prescribed by a doctor. Package 101. It's a prescription. That's it.
Okay. So for you, the guy, whatever, I'm not even going to mention your name because then I looked on your other videos and you're making fun of Cheeto Santino. And you're making fun of fucking Crystalia, and you're making fun of people who actually are doing something with their life. You wrote a fucking video about Cheeto Santino not having any content and Crystalia. Who the fuck are you? The content you're putting out is content that's garbage. Meanwhile, you're sitting there with your little half a fag whiskey and that cunt who I know has corona in her pussy because she can't be so fucking stupid. And you're pointing your fingers at comics who actually try and who actually fucking go out there on the weekends and who actually are doing something with their fucking lives. That's what you're doing. And here, I got the fucking proof for what the fuck you're talking about. I'm addicted to that I lied about. What does it say the name is? That's why I don't know. It's Aprazolam, a generic blend for Xanax. But even though, what were the fucking things?
0.25.
0.2 fucking fives. Only your little faggot ass would get high on one of these, you little fucking fag fuck.
I had to stop watching. I was,
oh yeah, it's just people that this whole thing wraps up and somebody gave them permission to attack some fucking guy. Hey, listen, you want to call me out? Call me out. Call me out for my tolerance. Call me out for the amount of fucking edibles I do. You could call me out for 1,000 things. Don't call me out for something that don't exist because you want to not even profit just to make yourself look fucking smarter. Now, I don't like to carry this around with me. This makes me look like a fucking idiot. I don't think I should carry these with me. So you see these, what these are? These are a sunglass case that is always in my bag, okay? And these are the glasses that go in there. If you watch the podcast, I know some of you listen to it, but if you watch it, these are the glasses that go in there. Are they prescription? No, they're fucking whatever. But in here, in case I have an emergency, because this is how I roll, because you have no idea what it is to have anxiety, I have green Xanny bars that a friend of mine gave me on the road. And if you want, I could have him call in to tell you when he gave me these things. So he gives me these Xanny bars, and what I did was I put some in my Suncast case in case I get an anxiety attack while I'm on the show. And if I'm driving, I have them in my bag and, you know, blah, 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 blah. The other thing of the purpose is I'm not lying to nobody about my fucking shortcomings. I'm 57. Lie to no one, because if they're special to you, you're going to fuck it up with a lie. And if they don't matter, like this jerk off, who the fuck are they that you got to lie to them for?
And I watched that's why I asked you the question, because I watched the first 10 minutes and I had to shut it off just because it was bothering me. Like all his research was watching the Joe Rogan podcast. And the thing that actually it didn't hurt my feelings, but it was, he said, like, oh, you're so mentally broken that you have to take something like that. Comedians shouldn't have to take. What are you talking? It's I forget where I saw it, but someone said, like, the brain is part of the body. That you take medicine for heart, you take medicine for breathing. If you have anxiety, taking a pill doesn't mean anything. His whole point was that, oh, you're weak because you're...
Lee,
who cares?
7 years on the podcast. How many times did you see me drink? Let's count it. We drank with Ron White.
Oh, on the podcast?
Yeah. How many times did you ever see me drink?
3?
7 years. So I could see if I was eating Xanax and abusing them. I could see if I was fucking going out and trying to be... Listen.
Or not telling anybody about it.
I do 2 fucking... I've been talking about anxiety on this show for years. I've been talking about my personal issues with anxiety before I go on stage, when I leave my family, go on the road. This is all I talk about because I'm not better than you guys. We all fucking bleed. God put us together a fucking certain way, and we're all lacking something. We're all lacking something. This doesn't mean you're weak or whatever. This means that somewhere along the line, there was a fucking problem that I didn't correct. But if you think I'm up all night fucking nodding and fucking... Yeah, I do things that are disturbing, but to myself. There's no reason why I should... Dog, it's the truth. I was telling somebody that I drank one of those Quick Z bottles at night, and I really forgot how many edibles I took. I didn't know if I had taken 2 of those or 4. I really don't know. So, yeah, am I embarrassed for being 57 and waking up on the floor with the heater burning me and the cat meowing on me? A little bit. But you know what? From time to time, you need to have a little fun from time to time to remind you.
Our buddy Grappling Science, he does a lot of memes. He had one, weed, there's no side effects. And sometimes you do wake up with ham in your sleep apnea mask.
Yeah,
Like, oh my God.
Yeah. You know, that's the night I woke up and just ate a fucking pound of ham and just went right to bed without brushing my teeth. I was like a fucking Frankenstein. But at least I'm big enough to admit these shortcomings. If you're going to make a tape about me, make it about the real thing. Let's talk about the problems I had growing up. Do some research. Go get some kidnapped victims. By the way, I spoke to my kidnapped victim the other night. He's all right. His mom's good. Kent's my dog down there in fucking in Tucson. I love Kent with all my heart. You know, I never understood why people make these dumb videos. And if you're going to call somebody out, call them out for the right reasons. And then I read some of the comments. Oh, he should get arrested for Harvey Weinstein. Guys, listen, you see how many women come on my show? Do I look like a Harvey Weinstein to you? When I tell you that if I get 10 calls a day on my phone, 6 of them are women that I'm tight with, when you're on the road, what happens on the road stays on the road. What happens in quarantine stays in quarantine. You know, do me a favor. If you're going to make a video, make it intelligent. Don't say I'm fat. Don't say I'm 80. Don't say, get to the point. Prove that I lied, because I've been talking about anxiety for fucking years. And you want me to tell you what happened? And I swear to my mother's grave, I didn't want to go out that day. Right now, I don't know if you guys are paying attention, if anybody has read this. We're selling 60% more alcohol than before.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
I got a weed store that makes $15,000 on the weekends. They did 50 last weekend. Okay, right now, I could be doing coke. I could be doing Oxycontins. I could be doing heroin. I'm doing fucking 100 milligrams here, 100 milligrams there, and a Xanax. If that bothers you, if that causes a fucking problem, oof, you're a fucking faggot. That's what the cause is. It really does. This is the lightness of my life. This is what keeps me together in the daytime. I can't fucking breathe. So if this is a problem in your life, if you took time to make a video about this, like I said, I'm not even going to mention your name so you watch the video, because it doesn't make sense. I don't care if you can make 1,000 videos. Make a video about me fucking kidnapping people. Why don't you show a video with a guy banged up with a pit bull on him, with me and my friend with a machine gun on him? You'd get more mileage with that. Me being a fucking junkie, everybody already knows, you stupid fuck. You stupid fuck, ignorant fuck. Take your girlfriend, teach her how to suck your dick. Take that fag whiskey you're throwing away and take that stupid look off your face. You're not doing anybody. You're just going after people that are trying to make a difference in any little way they can. And not for monetary reasons, but to just make it a little lighter right now. I should be eating 20 of these a day with what we're going through right now. We're in the scariest fucking time of our lives. I'm still coming down here with my friend here and doing entertainment and cracking a fucking couple jokes just to get you a little loose so you could go back to your fucking life later on and feel a little better. And now you got to get these jerk-offs making videos, writing fucking articles about Louis C.K. Listen, you want to find something to do with your time? Help yourself. Don't write articles about other people. Write articles and make videos about the shithead that you are. The truly shit heel that you are as a human being. That's who you should be writing a fucking video about. How you have nothing to do, but you went after Cheeto Santino and Chris D'Elia because of no content. That's how much content you have. That you went after two guys that have nothing but fucking content. I can see if you went after me for no content. But those two guys, so listen, smarten up. Do the best thing you could do for yourself. Shoot yourself. Shoot the girl, hang yourself, or become a man, become a human being, and talk from the heart, you miserable cocksucker. And with that, that's it. Who the fuck are these people that say fucking shit? I don't know nothing. I don't know how to say albrazapam. And that's why I fucked up the words.
And so what? What if you were embarrassed about taking it and you didn't tell someone?
No, I'm not embarrassed about taking it. I'm not embarrassed at all. This is part of the human fucking life. This is 57 hard fucking years of digging it. This wasn't made fucking Twilight through the tulips. Fucking, this is a hard 57. And whose fault was it? It was mine. It wasn't nobody else's fault. I put myself in the positions I was in. But for you to make a fucking video, for you to write an article about Louis C.K.'s at home right now counting 20s, taking pictures of his nutsack, sending it to the guy at the New York Times, him and the little fag, Ronan Farrow, whatever his fucking name is. Oh, Woody Allen can't write a book here. We're all going to walk out. I don't agree with Woody Allen. I don't like that motherfucker either. But listen, we're going to walk out and leave. Well, what do you think? There's a Jew down the corner, he'll stab his mother for $1 million. That's what Woody Allen went with his book, and the book is selling just fine, and everybody likes it. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to fucking buy it. I know what he did. He fucking fucked his own little Wuhan bitch. But God give him what is coming to him and fucking Yoko Jr. But That's got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in his movies. I don't want to do nothing.
And do you think that's going back to what you started with, like the change that's going to come from this? Like, do you think people are going to like just start focusing on themselves and being like, listen,
not after I read that fucking thing. Not after I saw the thing about me, and not after I saw the thing about Louis C.K. Look, the thing about me, I knew it was coming any day. I don't really give a fuck. I got one foot in the grave, one in banana peel. People who know me know where my heart is. And that's all that matters. People who know me know that people make mistakes 20 years ago, and they're not the same person anymore.
Yeah.
You know? With Louis C.K., I hope you feel the same. I hope you look at Louis C.K. and see how he's behaved since this has happened. Has anybody else raised their hand and said he's jerked off around the street? Maybe he went for therapy. Maybe he didn't. But don't shun him because of something that happened in 2001 in a fucking business that is just disgusting. It's just disgusting. Any day now, Harvey's going to get out of jail. You know why? Because somebody's going to give him a big check to tell him about the chicks that did sleep with him. And what are you going to do when Meryl Streep name comes up on there and all these other fucking famous Hollywood movie stars? What are you going to do? How are you going to feel about these women that won an Academy Award like the Houston Astros won a fucking World Series? You know, how are you going to feel about them? That's the last pull Harvey's going to do.
I'm surprised he hasn't.
Yeah, it's go on in an hour. I'm going to write a book about all the bitches that did suck my dick that won Academy Awards. Watch how many bitches will be in front of that fucking jail with sticks. Free Harvey. Free Harvey. Free Harvey. We're never satisfied as human beings. You know, for the last year, what have you heard about in L.A. every day? The homeless problem. The homeless problem. The homeless problem. Gavin Newsom, the governor, got him hotels. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see what's going on now?
No.
The people in the neighborhood from the hotels. Fuck the homeless. The same white people. Same fucking white people that were out there do something for the fucking homeless. Same white people. Now got signs. We don't want them in our neighborhood. They got COVID-19. Go fuck yourself. You were the ones that were all being Johnny Christian. Yeah. Nothing bothers me more than people who go to church that think they're better than you because they go to church. When I walk in the church, you know what I see? A bunch of fucking creeps. I see people trying to be fucking good. Give me the guy that walks around every day like Steve Simone, that brings people food, that really helps old people, that really does that. That's a real fucking Catholic Christian. It doesn't mean that you have to go to fucking church and sit in the front fucking pew, but that's what most people feel it takes for them to feel better, so fuck 'em. Me, I'm a sinner, cocksucker. I'm going to keep eating these fucking Xanax. I'm going to go over to the fucking weed store after this with my little mask on, and I'm going to get some supplies for the next couple of days because I can't smoke weed. But that's it. They're saying if you smoke weed, you're going to die. So fuck it. We're going to have to go back old school. You got any edibles at the house?
I do.
All right. Tonight's your lucky night, cocksucker. Hey, I love you guys with all my heart, man. Just, I appreciate the people who had my back when they posted it on Facebook and Twitter. A lot of people attacked the guy and told me he was a sham. Now you could just go after him full steam ahead. Tell him his mother fucking wears combat boots. His mother's asshole smells like Xanax. Just let him have it. Who gives a fuck? He's a miserable fuck. He's either going to go down now or somewhere down the road. He'll be doing videos. Or what's the guy I gave the edibles to that moved to the mountains?
Oh, Owen Benjamin.
Him and Owen will be doing videos a year from now. Who gives a fuck? Hey, I got fucking no dates. But I want to talk to you about two things. Again, like Manscaped said, it's testicular fucking cancer month. So make sure you test out the testes. You know what I'm saying? You're like, Joey, what the fuck are you talking about? I'll tell you what I'm talking about. It's a public service announcement for your fucking balls. April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. All right? Just search Ball Checker. Whenever you download apps, they have an app today for tips to protecting your beanbag. Okay? Every hour, someone in this country is diagnosed with testicular cancer. Early detection is your best friend when it comes to protecting your fucking nuggets. This month, Manscaped and the Testicular Cancer Society want to remind you, that's right, you cocksucker, You got to check that fucking nutsack at least once a month. You're sitting at home playing video games. Ha, ha, ha. Everything's going to be great. Unemployment's going to send me a check. No, they're not. No, they're not. This is the time you check for any early sign of changes. Download the Ball Checker app today for tips on protecting that fucking nutsack. Just search Ball Checker and wherever you download apps. While you're down there, you might as well make sure that everything is tip-top, Magoo. Look at your eyebrows. I looked at my eyebrows the other day. I was embarrassed what I saw in there. I saw bushes. I saw blackheads. See, we forget to go out and trim shit. Now is the time to trim shit, and it starts with your fucking nutsack. You want to be prepared when this fucking coronavirus is over. Listen, right now, if I was 35, I'd be planning one thing. This thing's coming back in the fall. The summer, I got a plan. I'm going to sling dick till I get the HIV. So if I get the coronavirus, it don't matter. The HIV overrides it. Fuck it. So right now, you got to shave your nutsack, and you got to shave around your dick so it smells nice and it's ready for all the humidity. Because women, nobody wants to suck a fucking dirty dick. And if you're a guy, you ever suck a guy's dick and it smells weird it smells like a Greek sandwich? You don't want that either. So what I'm telling you is this. Get the Manscaped. Get the 3.0. Get the crop duster. Get the leather bag. Get it all. Because this shit will make your dick tip-top Magoo. You want to make that area look thick, even if you got a little gut hanging over it. Tell you what, you take away the fucking hair, and all they see is that dick coming to them. You put a little reviver on your nutsack so it doesn't look like a fucking bald head, like an elbow. They put one of those balls in their mouth. Who's better than you? Nobody. You understand me? You're bringing joy. You're like a priest on Easter. So get your shit together. Go to manscaped.com right now and use code words Joey to get 20% off and free shipping. And if you got a lawnmower 2.0, they got an attachment to turn it into 3.0. Listen, you need that 3.0. Why? 7,000 RPMs, chopping down all that fucking dirt and malukia hair you got. Because who conditions their hairballs? Nobody. You ever put conditioner on your nutsack? No, nobody's ever even thought about that. You got to condition the nutsack. So when you shave down there, the hair flies away a lot easier. You don't have a bunch of dry ends. You look like fucking one of those Chinese girls after they pulled their hair for 15 hours in the Wuhan interrogation center. You know what I'm saying? Nobody needs that. Go to manscaped.com right now. Enter code CHURCH. I tell you what, I'm going to give you 20% off your first order and free shipping. It's tough out there, but you got to take care of your dick. That's it, and that's that. You want dates? I got no dates. All I got for you is that the church is now on Spotify. And Lee's going to put a couple CDs on there for you for free. So you don't have to waste your time no more. They're free. They're for you. Okay? I love you motherfuckers with all your heart. I'm happy you let me come across your living rooms. And I'm happy you understand where I'm coming from. Not Xanax, albuterol, whatever the fuck it is. All right? That's why I didn't know the name of it. Fucking smart, stupid motherfucker. Anyway, I love you guys with all my heart. Please stay in. Please stay safe. We do the podcast. We keep the door open. I come in here every day. I Lysol, Ozium, fucking fart in here. I got everything covered. If you could take one of my farts, you could take the coronavirus. It's no big fucking deal, all right? I love you motherfuckers. I got no dates on the books. I'm not interested. I'm interested right now in you getting healthy, you getting your pocket straight, and then after that, we'll talk about dates and jumping up and down and selling T-shirts or whatever. For right now, entertain yourself. And Manscaped, listen, you smoke a joint, you start trimming your balls, you'll never stop. By the end of the night, I'll have you in a yoga position you'll never see. You'll have your hand up your asshole, shaving with a mirror by your ear, stuck with a paper clip. Have some fun. Manscaped.com, mybookie.ag/Joey. Thank you very much. Kick this fucking meal, Lee.